Poilievre calls for temporary foreign worker program to be scrapped. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has renewed his criticism of Canada's temporary foreign worker program, arguing that it undercuts Canadian wages and discourages businesses from hiring and training local workers. If you are interested in this topic, please pay attention and watch the video through to the end to get all the information. Please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to push the notification bell for an upcoming video. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre wants the federal government to axe the temporary foreign worker program, saying it has flooded the market with cheap labor and made it harder for young Canadians to find work. The Liberals have to answer, why is it that they are shutting our own youth out of jobs and replacing them with low-wage, temporary foreign workers from poor countries who are ultimately being exploited, Poilievre said in Mississauga, Ontario, on Wednesday. The Conservatives say that while they want the temporary foreign worker program scrapped, they will create a separate, standalone program for legitimately difficult-to-fill agricultural labor. Canada already has a separate immigration stream for farm workers called the Seasonal Agricultural Worker Program that allows employers to bring in workers from Mexico and other participating Caribbean countries. Poilievre stressed that he doesn't blame the temporary foreign workers themselves but the Liberal government and Liberal corporate elites, who he says are exploiting these workers to enrich themselves. Not long ago, young Canadians could gain vital skills in entry-level jobs, earn enough to pay for school and build a future, said Conservative MP Michelle Rempel-Garner in a statement. In return, employers built a skilled domestic workforce. But the Liberals broke that deal. Poilievre said that while the Liberals promised a cap of 82,000 TFWs in 2025, the federal government has already handed out 105,000 permits. If they do the same number of permits for temporary foreign workers in the next 6 months that they did in the last, they will break the record again, Poilievre said. Permits include extensions. The Liberal government issued a statement saying the Conservative leader's numbers include inaccurate or incomplete information. Immigration Minister Lena Diob's office says that between January and June, only 33,722 TFWs entered the country, which represents about 40% of the total number of TFWs expected this year. The 105,000 permits that have been issued so far this year include permit extensions for people who are already in the country. Overall, 125,903 fewer new temporary workers arrived between January and June 2025 compared to January to June 2024, Diob's office said. Speaking in Toronto on Wednesday where he is meeting with his cabinet, Prime Minister Mark Carney said his government is putting policies in place so that immigration as a proportion of the population will decline from 7 to 5% a few years out. Carney said that when he speaks to business leaders across the country, their number one issue is tariffs and their second issue is how to get more foreign workers. That program has a role, it has to be focused in terms of its role, Carney said. It's part of what we will be discussing, how well the temporary foreign worker program is working and how our overall immigration system is working. Dan Kelly, President and CEO of the Canadian Federation for Independent Business, told CBC News that he supports both the measures the Liberal government took to open up spaces for TFWs during the pandemic and the tightening that happened since then. But to suggest that the program itself be permanently scrapped is just ridiculous, he said. The Conservatives know better. If you're trying to hire someone in rural Saskatchewan to come to work in your quick-service restaurant, it's unlikely that the unemployed kid from Toronto is going to move cross-country. Population growth stalling, StatsCan. In June, Statistics Canada reported that the country's population growth stalled in the first 3 months of the year, making it the 6th consecutive quarter of slower population growth. StatsCan said part of that decline can be attributed to decisions taken by the federal government in 2024 to lower the levels of both temporary and permanent immigration. The slow growth in the first quarter of the year represents the second slowest quarterly growth rate in Canada since comparable records began in the first quarter of 1946. Immigration accounted for all of the population growth in the quarter because there were 5,628 more deaths than births in Canada. Statistics Canada said that from January 1 to April 1, the Canadian population rose by 20,107 people, the smallest increase since the third quarter of 2020 early in the COVID-19 pandemic when it contracted by 1,232 people. As debate over labor shortages and immigration policy continues, Poilievre's call to scrap the TFW program adds fuel to a divisive discussion about how Canada balances economic needs with protecting opportunities for its own workforce. That is all for today, in this video. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully, the information is useful to you. See you later, in the next video. Till then, take care.